Alright, so we're done with the first page. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and grab all of these buttons and paste them onto the other pages. Now I could go ahead and use that shift strategy where I hold shift and press all the different items, but there's actually 6 things here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I'm trying to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here, hold my mouse down and draw a box around all those things. And that's going to grab everything inside the box that I drew. Now it didn't grab the background because we locked that earlier. I'm going to press Apple C for copy. I'm going to come down to my page 2 and I'm going to go to paste into place. So edit, paste in place, and it's going to put those in the same place on my page 2. I'm going to scroll down to page 3. Again, I'm going to do paste into place, and it's going to put that on page 3. Again, paste into place is really important because if any of these items are not lined up with where they are on the other page, it's going to become obvious to our viewer that this is not one cohesive document, but several pages that are stuck together. If you haven't saved yet, now would be a great time to do so. And we're going to move on to page 2. On page 2, there are a few different guides that we need to make. We have horizontal guides at 102. We have another one at 144. We have another at 208. Nailed it. Another at 410. And another at 452. The next thing that we're going to do is create a frame that stretches from the left end to the right end and fills the space between 102 and 452. And we're going to fill that with white. And we're going to give that an 80% transparency. And that's going to be the background for some text that we're about to put in here. The next thing that I need to do is create a text box inside, or on top of, I should say, this bit here. And I'm going to write in the words the right stuff. And select that. That is impact. Regular 52. If I'm going a little too fast with these, all of this is printed in your written instructions. Oh, sorry, that's 62. There we go. Then we're going to add some body copy. So we're going to stretch a text box across all of these, and I actually missed that. It should be closer up here, so I'm going to move that up. And then put my cursor in that text box, and I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to put in that text. Okay? It's going to fill it in that way. Now this is what's called body copy. It's smaller than the other text. The other text on here is what's called display type. It's meant to be used largely so that people can get information very quickly. It's for headlines, titles, slogans on ads, that sort of thing. And then this is body copy, which is meant to be read as paragraphs. This is going to be Euro style regular and 14 pixels, and then the leading is going to be 16 pixels. Now what is the leading? As you can see in the little icon here, leading is the space between lines of type. So how far is the first line from the second line, which is underneath it? And generally the leading is 2 points, which we can think of a point and a pixel as being very similar in size. It's 2 points or 2 pixels larger than whatever the typeface size is. So I'm going to hit enter, it's going to apply that. This is going to be indented on the first line by 12 pixels. So there's my indent. And the only other thing I have to do here is that this should be 2 columns. So I'm going to hold Control, right click here, go to text frame options, and you'll see I have some options for how many columns I want this text to be. So I'm going to make it 2. Okay, and that should fit in there nicely. So now my second page is finished. Alright, so page 2 is finished, and anytime that I'm working in InDesign and I want to know if I've done these things correctly, I can actually come over here into my palettes and click on Preview. And if I click on Preview, I'll get a little box. I can press play and it will show me a little tiny version of the thing that I'm making. Sorry, my computer's being a little slow. There it is, and I can start to mess around with it. So I can see that my rollovers are working. When I roll over the button, it turns white to let me know that I've selected it, and when I press down on it, it looks like it gets smaller. That's because of the inner glow that we gave it. And if I click on History, that'll take me to page 2. If I click on Gallery, that's going to take me to page 3. There's nothing on it right now. So now I can see that, yes, my buttons are correct and this is working correctly. If you need a bigger view, you can click here and go to Test in Browser, and it'll pull it up in whatever browser you have open. So I'm going to get rid of that. Let's scroll down to page 3. Okay, page 3 is probably the most intensive page that we have. What we're going to do is take this white box from page 2, copy it, scroll down, and do paste in place. And it's going to paste it exactly where it was on the other page. Cannot overstate the importance of paste in place. Let's go ahead and lock this box as well. Object, lock. So now neither of these things can be moved unless I unlock them. We need some horizontal guides. There's one at 121 pixels. There's another one at 432. There are also vertical guides. We've got one at 97. And another at 703. You'll notice that 97 is 97 pixels away from the left edge. Our document is 800 pixels wide, so 703 is actually 97 pixels away from the right edge. So the space between here and here is even with the space between here and here, which is going to make this look a lot more visually pleasing than if we just kind of picked a random size. We're going to draw a frame that fits in here, and we're going to put some pictures in it. Okay, so you can go to File, Place, or you can press Command D or Apple D, and let's put in Slideshow 1. It's a little small, so normally I wouldn't recommend blowing this up. I would say that this image is too small, but for the purpose of getting our tutorial finished, we're going to blow it up a little bit so that it just fits in there. Now what I'm doing that's different from the video I showed you is I'm holding Shift while I move this. So I clicked on the circle, grabbed the edge, and now I'm holding Shift, and Shift is going to make it so that I cannot possibly stretch this. If I don't hold Shift, what will happen is I can stretch the picture. And now my picture doesn't look like it should, which you should never stretch pictures. So I'm going to Apple Z. The other thing that you can do is press Control, click on the image, go to Fitting, and fill frame proportionally, and it'll try to fill that frame as best it can, and you can always kind of readjust if you need to. Okay, I'm going to click off of that. Right now I'm still editing the content, so I'm going to click on my black tool, click off, so I'm clicked on nothing. Click on this again, and now I have the box selected. Now you're seeing some white issues here, some like white stripes. This is not anything wrong with my document. What's going on is that InDesign uses a lot of your computer's memory to keep drawing all of these things on your screen, and when I blew up my picture it kind of got confused. So if I were to like scroll up and scroll down again, those weird issues are gone. So I'm going to click on my picture, I'm going to press Apple C for copy, and then I'm going to paste into place. It's going to paste a new one on top. I'm going to click on that circle so that I've selected the content, and I'm going to place something else here, and it's going to take out the current image and add this image. I'm going to go to paste in place again, and again I'm going to place a new image. 3, and let's paste in place again and place the 4th image. Okay, so I have 4 pictures that are stacked on top of each other. Why would I do this? Well, that's how we're going to make our gallery. So I'm going to draw a box that fits in all 4 of these pictures. Now, if I had not locked this white and I had not locked this picture, I would select those things as well. So that's why I locked them, because I don't want those to be included in the work that I'm doing over top of them. I'm going to go to Object States and click this little new symbol. Anytime you see this little image of a paper being lifted up off of another paper, that means new. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to make this into a new object. You'll see all 4 pictures here listed as state 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's name this gallery. And now we actually have a gallery with 4 things inside of it. So what we did is we made this one frame with 4 different things in it instead of 4 frames. The next thing that we are going to do is draw buttons that will, oh, I'm sorry, getting a little ahead of myself. Before we do that, we need to draw or label what these are. So let's go to state 1, and let's just draw a text box kind of off to the side. And this is a shuttle. This type is going to be impact, regular, and it's 30 pixels. Now, I can't put this in here. If I try to put it here, when I flip between the different states, it's going to stay there, and these are not all a shuttle. So what I need to do is get this off, oops, Apple Z, get this shuttle, come on, there we go, out of the way. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to click on my image, make sure you're on state 1, and press the star, and that's going to paste the copied object into that state. And now I can put it down here in the corner. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this, okay, I'm going to go to state 2, and I'm also going to paste in there. Except I need this to be white so that I can read it. The next ones are all going to be white, so I'm going to copy this. Oops. Copy, and then change it to say Earth from the Moon. Now again, my text is too big for this frame, so I'm going to have to pull the frame out. State 3, let's paste that in there. Call these the Pleiades. Click back on my gallery with my selection tool, go to state 4, and then finally I'm going to paste in my last text, and let's call this cat's eye. Again, okay, the final thing that I need to do is create some buttons that will allow me to flip through this slideshow, because right now there's no way to get through it. So I'm going to create a box that should be 38 by 38 pixels, so I'm going to click on it, and I can just come up here and make it 38 by 38, and let's fill that with black, and this is going to go in the corner here. And now let's convert this to a button, and we're going to do the same that we did for the white buttons, just with the black color. So normal state is going to be 80%, rollover is going to be 100, and click is also going to be 100, but we're also going to give it an effect, which is inner glow. Okay, and on release, what we want to do is we want that action, when it's released, to go to the next state. Actually, this is the previous state because it's on the left. And what object we want to go to the state in? Well, we only have one right now, gallery, but if you had more than one gallery, then you would choose the name. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy that button and paste it in and put it in this corner as well. And now we want to give this, which is now named button 11, go to next state. And finally, we're just going to make some arrows And you can use whatever typeface you want. You can use text, you can draw these in. To get this arrow to face the opposite direction, you could just type the other arrow, or you could flip it. Best I can. I'm going to press save, and now I'm going to preview this in my browser. Okay, brought my document up in my other screen, so I'm going to pull it over. You can see I'm using Chrome, and I can click on history. It'll take me to the history gallery. It's going to be all finished. If you see anything that doesn't work, go back into InDesign and see if you can figure out maybe you forgot to attach an action to something.